Happy Friday, beginning of the weekend for some people here. Let's put the music back. Here we go. So, where are we at this morning? Let's put the chat back also. Hey, pro streamer. So basically, yesterday we started working on the engine on a pretty serious manner. Basically, we did all the verification for the crank. We did all pretty much everything twice, because we assembled the crank first, validate the tolerance down there. Then we went to reassembling it, like removing everything, cleaning everything again, reassembling everything, torquing the crank in place. And right now today, I can actually spin it, which is perfect, because that means it's doing great. However, what we have still on our plate is the reluctor wheel at the back. We stopped streaming yesterday due to the fact that the tolerance were out of place there, so I had to message my my machine shop to know what was up with that. In the meantime, waiting for an answer, basically I went on and searched the internet, and both of them, the machine shop and the internet, came to the same answer. We can actually smash the shit out of that to improve the tolerance there. So when I say that, it's not going nuts with a hammer, kind of, but like, you need to be aware that you don't want to damage the wheel. So basically what we're gonna do this morning is reinstall our little dowel indicator, and we're gonna be basically looking for the point that's the further back towards the back of the engine, and the point that's toward the most at front of the engine, and we're gonna try to just bend that towards the center of it, so do an in-between and bring that tolerances close to 0.001. There's two sources of information about that. One of them saying that 0.001 is what GM is saying. Well, no, 0.01 is what GM is saying. Other says that 0.028 is the tolerances you don't have to exceed, and also a GM number. But basically, since we have both information, we're gonna aim for 0.01 difference all around. That will be amazing, and we will spend like a little bit of time on that, just trying to reach that, because basically right now, to give you an idea, instead of being at 0.028, we are at 0.033034. So this is like not ideal, so we're gonna keep moving that, because basically reason for that is that on I don't want to say something stupid, so let me look on this side here. Yep, on this side basically, let me show you actually. Hey, we have two cam, might as well, right? Pump, pump, pump. Dual side. Dual side. There you go. So basically, you see that hole here? This is a position sensor going there. So basically, it's clipping with that. It's getting tight to that, and this is looking at that wheel with teeth actually. So if I'm just putting you up, so that wheel that is a bit off the spec chart is getting looked through that hole by a sensor, and basically having that much of a difference with the normal tolerances, it means that it could get some bad input at some point around that. So when the crank is turning like this, that wheel is getting is sending a signal on every teeth to that sensor, and therefore the ECU, the computer, knows what to do at what moment. So this is the idea there, the basic idea. But basically right now, since we are a bit offsetted, it could lead to some problem. To be fair, the machine shop was like, if you want to spend time on it, go for it. But the boss there said that classic GM stuff, you could be off by way more and it will still work, but like we don't want to take chances, because basically from what I read on the internet, it's not that much at a low RPM situation you're gonna have problem in there. It's really more at a really high RPM where like you're hitting over 6,000 RPM. Crazy thing, some people run those V8 at 7,000 RPM, which I feel like is crazy. All my setup right now, I've always planned it with a limiter, because we're gonna have the chance to decide our limiter, our RPM limit. I always planned it around, like, I know the setup should be able to do 6,500, so I'm like planning on 6,300 to leave a little bit of gap there. I mean, we'll see what happens. It's gonna be the tuner's job to tell me what's up with that. So this morning, we're gonna go back and set up our dial indicator all over again here to get a proper reading of that. So let me just do that, do this, and basically I'm gonna release that a little bit. There. I cannot go far enough. Can I actually, let me check something. Can I go like this? Yep, I think that could be a thing. Ideally, I think it needs to be a little bit more perpendicular to the thingy. How were we set up yesterday? Maybe like that, actually. There. Yep, that will make more sense. Well, is it making more sense? Maybe not. I feel like it's missing like one arm to be the perfect thing. Hey, there we go. Yeah, that was pretty much how we were set up. Just make sure that we are having something great and decent here, not touching that lower bolt. There we go. No. There we go. So that will be our lowest point. Oh, we're reaching even further than yesterday now. All right. So from here, we're gonna make sure we are under that thing there. I think I need to make sure to actually not too close to that, and a little bit more at 80 degrees ideally. But I cannot get to the, oh yeah, I can. It's not impossible. Because basically, just to make sure we're not having, there you go. Yeah, that makes more sense. Need to make sure you're not amplifying the distortion there. So there you go. So basically around here is the point where it's looking the most at the front, because basically from the no, it's the point where it's looking the most at the back. So here we're gonna try to bend it toward that side, and on the other side we're gonna try to push it on the opposite side. So basically the idea here is that if in the mid-range here I'm at 0.015 on the caliper here, so I'm gonna set you back here so you can see actually what's going up with that. What's up with that? I broke the cam. Nothing new here. There you go. No. There you don't go. Now? Nope. All right, let's fix the cam. Hey, there you go. So basically what I was saying, and I think without the light it's gonna help you have less reflection. So basically here I set up my dial indicator so that you can see the arrow there, how it's moving. I want that this is 0.35 without pushing the pressure on one side or the other. And at the bottom here I'm at 0 or almost 0, and basically that's like the point where it's looking the most. If we're pushing that way or pushing that way, it's looking the most at the front. And on the other side here, when it gets crazy high, that's where it's looking the most at the back. So we need to bring that towards the front, and the other side we need to bring it towards the back. The idea here is to try to keep it the most centered, how would I say that? Like we want to bring that at the center of each tolerance there. So the lowest and the highest point, we want them to bring them in between. So here I will try to bring it around 0.015, and the other side I will try to bring it also to 0.015. Salut Danick, comment ça va? Bon matin, mister. As-tu vu comment c'est excitant? On travaille sur le moteur. So to do so, we're gonna use quite a crazy technique I didn't know was allowed on an engine. If you look on Google or YouTube, you can search for, how is it called? It's how to unbend the brake disc of a bike. So disc rotor from a bike, this is like exactly the same technique. This is what my machine shop told me to look at. So you can either use a hammer, or what you can also use is this, just a Westcott that you're gonna apply on each side and pry the wheel with it without touching the actual teeth of the wheels. So that's important. Veux-tu que je te fasse une explication de ce qu'on fait, Danick? En gros, si tu regardes ici, j'ai le crank en place en ce moment. Fait que le crank est en place, tout ça. Puis hier, en gros, on a mesuré toutes les tolérances partout. Puis la dernière qui nous reste à faire, c'est au fond le reluctor wheel à l'arrière ici. Ça, au fond, c'est une gear avec des dents qui donne au position sensor la position de ton crank. Normalement, il ne faudrait pas que ça dépasse 0.028 de pouces de différence, de wobbling, si tu veux. De là, pourquoi je suis seté de même pour mesurer. Mais là, comme tu vois, j'étais à 0.035. Fait que j'ai jasé avec mon machiniste hier et il m'a dit de juste send it, baby. Pry it. So, c'est ce qu'on va faire. So, as you can see, if I'm going in between there and I'm moving at the front here, I should be able to add a bit of force just to try to push that towards the 0.015 and bend that assembly just a touch. So we're gonna even close even more all of that. So we just want to make sure we stay in the same spot. I think we were all the way down there at first. All right, let me recalibrate that on the other side. There we go, about a millimeter underneath. There you go. Tu l'ajustes comme une super, petit à petit, exactement. T'as tout compris. And here we go. So this is where we're getting crazy high. So from here, is it because you're moving there? Yep. All right, so from here, we're gonna again try to pry it towards the back. No, the front, I mean. So we're just going to give it a little bit of a tilt towards the front, making sure we're not damaging the teeth. Now just move that a little bit, so we're gonna make sure we're still in a good position with the dull caliper. That's because it moved at the back. All right, let's test that again. So I'm gonna go to the place where it's at its lowest. Oh, I think we have gained quite a lot, actually. Fait que ouais, on est en train de réassembler le moteur d'Annick. C'est enfin quelque chose qui devient réalité. Alright, on the 0 mark, let's just push that a little bit further down because it needs to stay right there. No, I need to go on the other side. I was getting out of thread there. Alright, there we go. That should be good. Yep, we have gained quite a lot there. So when we're getting back to the 0, that one we will love to, whoops, I need to stop touching that. Okay, let me just scroll that a little bit more in so we have a bit more play on the dial. Perfect. Dans les vidéos, ça a l'air tellement plus facile. Ouais. C'est pas pour dire, à date, ça va super bien ce qu'on fait. Alright, so let's see. Here we go. We are now at maximum 0.025, pretty much, which means we are now in the tolerances if we want to stay like this. However, what I would like to is to use that and pry it towards the back. So we are going half and half on that wheel. There you go. Just like here, we're gonna add a little bit more tension. So it's really about working it all around. So here, that's gonna be the part that I don't have really a lot of access to, so I don't think we're gonna be able to do that part there. Because we cannot, except maybe with a flat screwdriver. Let me try that slowly, but we need to make sure we're not breaking a thief. Nah, that won't be a thing. That won't happen. So here, now here we are going to give it a little bit more. And I just touch it again. Every time I'm touching it like this, I need to readjust absolutely everything, pretty much. But at this point, I'm gonna give it a little wiggle. Let's go. Ben, ça tient de peine et de misère. C'est un aimant, là. C'est juste que je suis pas sur la meilleure surface aimantée, là. Il y aurait probablement moyen de le faire un peu mieux, mais bon. Let's get to the lowest point around here. Let's tweak that to 0 again. So we are on the lowest point, about a millimeter under the teeth. And if we go here, we are again quite high. Let's try that on one direction there. So when we're going back to 0, at what point can we remove some? Okay, so let's put that back there. Let's go back to the highest point. Yep, now we are at 0.027, basically, the real one. So now that we have 0.027, we could leave it like that and it will technically be into the 0.028 standard, but since, like I said, there's also two different numbers out there on the internet. One is saying it's 0.01, the other one 0.028. So right now we are on the biggest tolerance that we can have. We're gonna try to bring it back to maybe more something like 0.01. So we want to get as close as possible to that. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna try that again. So toward the front on that one. It's actually quite frightening to do, not gonna lie. So we want to try to do that on multiple spots because we don't want to bend it somewhere where it can get damaged easily. Here there's a lot of hole in the wheels, so we need to take care because that could be a place where we damage it pretty badly. Because if we bend just one side, that's really not good. We need to make sure it's bending all around. All right, let's test that again properly. So if I'm going there, we are on 0 on this. So basically because of the truss bearing at the middle there, we are adding a bit of pressure on one side. It doesn't matter if we were doing that or towards the back. The important part is doing that always on the same direction. As you can see, doing that is removing about 0.004, so 0.004 of an inch maximum. So this is really a tiny amount. And now I'm gonna move up to here, test. Now we are under the 0.01 measure there. Oh, here we're getting high, but not that bad. So here we are now at 0.016. Did we have anything a little closer to? So this is really the highest point right there. And yep, this is 0.016 when applying a slight pressure here. Again, let's verify that by going down here, closest to our 0, and adding pressure. We're getting a little bit under, so that will mean the furthest distance is 0.016, and now we are like literally a little bit under the zero, like by 0.0025, so that will mean we are still under the 0.02. So we're getting there. We're gonna add a little bit more in here. So here we're gonna, right around here, we're gonna try to just push it again towards the front, so we have a bit of a better fitment. Little by little. I don't want to be straight over that hole there because it's frightening. There you go. I've touched that, of course. So let's go at the bottom of the measurement, which is around there, 0.8. Let's tweak that with that screw there. And let's measure again. Actually, before that, when I'm on 0, I'm gonna add that to compensate for that. There you go. Now going to the worst, which is now 0.017. If I'm doing actually not that, but that here. We are 0.016 there, saying that we should be able to. We are zeroing there. There. Yeah, I can bring it basically with quite a bit of tension to 0.015. So now we just gained basically 0.02 of tolerance there. So we just went straight back to a really acceptable place. I don't think we're gonna aim for more than that, because basically the reason I don't want to go too hard on the wheel is, as you can see here, it's all some holes. So basically every time I'm bending that, there's more chance I'm actually bending it from the tabs on the center there than the entire wheel itself. So I don't want to make like something funky there. I don't want to make something that could get damaged running at high RPM. Basically, I'm happy now because we are we are straight into the 0.015, 0.016 ballpark, which means basically this is now under tolerances. So, and knowing that the machine shop was like, yeah, even at 0.034 you will be good, I was like, oh damn, okay. So basically now our position sensor should be spot on, should work perfectly. The wheel's not scratching anywhere. It's looking really, really, really straight here. So we are now under control of all the parameters concerning the crank, and I haven't changed the layout. Dual front. Let's go. So now that this is said, the crank is officially done. So this morning the plan is to go as far as I feel like, hey, because I'm the one working on it. But basically I wanted to do that for sure. So this is done. We are straight into the tolerances now. So we should be safe with the reading of the position sensor, which means the engine shouldn't be having issues on that side. So see, this is like the small details that is not even concerning metal on metal surface, is not concerning anything that could actually damage really bad the engine by itself because it has been assembled badly, poorly, but just data reading for the computer that could cause trouble that we have to troubleshoot for later on. So we're trying to prevent those. Now, getting to something really, really insane, we are going to flip the engine actually, and we're gonna start working on the cam. We're gonna cam the engine, so there's brand new cam bearing in there, and we're gonna take the camshaft just like wash it, make sure it's clean. Then we're gonna oil it a little bit following the instruction, and then we're gonna throw it in there, because basically we are moving forward to installing the timing chain on the engine for the pre-assembly setup. That being said, we're gonna flip the engine right now. So bottom's gonna get at the bottom again, and the top at the top again. Dual side. Dual side. There you go. So done with that, everything's moving great, freely, everything's looking good. So we can go ahead and rotate this. Let's make sure we're not hitting on that. There we go. Boom. So as for the cam, the action is going to happen straight in the center here. So if I bring you with me, we can see now when I'm talking to you about the crankshaft being what activate the piston. You can see what's going on through here. So you see, this is what happens. These are the thing that will have the piston attached to, and when they move up and down, it's bringing the piston up and down. So this is crazy. We're gonna do that eventually in the pre-assembly procedure, but for now, you're coming with me right here. So for the cam, boom, boom, what we need to do is push it through here. So the camshaft is gonna go and go through the engine completely at the back here, both ends stop there with a cap on each side. That side here will have a gear. The gear is gonna attach to the crank, and the timing chain is going to be what we use to know when the timing is in place. So we're gonna have a procedure to do for that. There's gonna be some marking, and yeah, we're gonna have quite a bit of fun. Hello, Hawk! Front cam. Front cam. Ah, yeah, yeah, ah, yeah, yeah. Let's go! Good morning. So this morning I woke up, poured myself a little happy bean juice into the mug, went on street, killed 2 chads, did a quest at the same time, extracted a new gun I didn't know it was even existing, and now I'm doing an engine. There's worse than that, eh? Happy Friday. It does it every single time. So as I was saying, we're gonna move forward, and I'm gonna remove some of the tools for now that are laying here. I'm gonna throw them away just because we don't want them to be in the way of the camshaft. And we're gonna go and start adding the second most important part of the assembly there. However, some V8 guys could argue that this is probably the most important thing in a V8. Why? Because that part right here, the cam, is what gives the V8 that typical sound of you know, that sound that feels so American. This is what gives it to the car. So basically, for a lot of guys, this is the most important part of the car, of the engine. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna remove that, put some brand new one just to make sure we are clean. We're gonna make sure we are cleaning the camshaft properly, and then after that we're gonna put some oil and start throwing that in there. First time I'm doing a cam on V8 engine. I know they can be a bit painful, but there's a few tips apparently on in the book, so we're gonna take a look at it. I know it's just a matter of twisting it all around, so yeah. Hell yeah. So let's take that out. So mine, so let's keep that in mind. I don't know at which point we're gonna have that classical sound on the V8. Reason for that, it's a turbo camshaft. Since I'm going turbo, I'm not looking for the exact same timing and stuff than the guys does when they are actually doing their big V8 builds. So because of that, we might have like a more subtle sound. But again, I'm not exactly sure to what I'm supposed to wait for that cam to sound like. So it's gonna be a surprise the first time we turn the key on that. There you go. Let's make sure there's no dust in here. So right there, I'm gonna start opening up. I'm gonna put some gloves. There's a bit of oil to prevent rust in there. I'm gonna make sure I put some new gloves. That's not the most environmental thing, but at the same time, also for a laugh, there will be no kills for TFG today. Wait, why? What? Why? Did someone pay for something like the Triaxis when with like a full day of something else? Don't tell me the Pokemon thing, Paul World, which is not Pokemon, but all the creature looks like. Oh. Mowing simulator, vacuum simulator, power washing simulator, truck simulator, farming simulator, ending with flying simulator. He has to do all of them? Like someone paid for an hour on each of them? Oh my god, that's so good. Actually, Truck Simulator and Farming Simulator are quite some good games. I played a little bit of Truck Simulator and it's quite fun, but Farming Simulator, I never played it, but I know a bunch of friends like that does play that. And lately, like maybe a month, 2 months ago, one of our friends close to my house, we were invited for a supper there and a dinner, and we went there, had a blast, everything, taking a beer, and the guy was actually having Farming Simulator on the TV, but he was on pause, and I was like, yo, can you show it to me? And he showed me his things, what he was doing, what he was preparing, what kind of machinery and stuff he had, and I was like, yo, that's freaking sick. Honestly, this is nuts how good it is. It's just missing Goat Simulator in that thing, but Vacuum and Power Washing Simulator, ew. Why? All right, let's open that box. Unboxing. Dual side. I'm saying that, but I don't have my knife close, so let me grab the knife. So here we go, camshaft, little thingy that looks great. We're gonna go like this, just opening an end. Not that we are going to throw that back in there, probably not. Summit Racing. There we go, so this is a camshaft. The unboxing was quite easy, not gonna lie. So that this plastic is horrible, but the yellowish color is just because there's an oil in there preventing anything from happening on that, basically preventing rust actually. So what are we looking at right now? We're looking at a little unit that is actually the thing activating the valves into your engine. Every engine has a cam. The only big difference I will say between that, except let's say the rotative engine, but that's not what we're talking about. But basically piston engine, they do have a cam because the way they work is a piston move up and valves are opening. One intake valve opening for letting air and fuel in, one exhaust valve to let the exhaust fuel, the exhaust gas once the combustion happen, get out into the exhaust line. That's the idea. Some cars has like my BMW, I have two intake valves, two exhaust valves per cylinder, so it always depends. That engine actually I think has also a pair of no, it's only two, I'm not even sure, I'm gonna have to look. So there's a lot of mix matching and stuff, like people went nuts, the industry just tried a bunch of things. I know there's cars with like one exhaust valve but two intake valves that are smaller, stuff like that, so it's always like design and stuff. And the main difference in that V8, it is what we call a push rod system. So basically this is in the short block. So like I already said, the short block is basically the bottom half of the engine, the one that has the piston in it, and the camshaft is inside there due to the push rod system. In comparison, for my BMW, the camshaft is not in the short block. It is in the cylinder head, right on top of each cylinder, and in fact on top of the valve. So instead of being in the center, mine is sitting on top, and when it's rotating, it's actually activating the valves directly through a lifter, where here it's going through some rods, some I think it's 7 inches rod, 4 inches, 7 inches, 7 inches rod that push it to a pivot point in the head, activating the actual valve. So that's a bit different, but that's how V8 has been done since I think the 50s or 60s basically. It's really like an old design, but that is actually working. It is shiny right now. So we're gonna clean that up. There's a bit of oil in there. So we have the journal bearing here, and the way a cam works, actually I can already tell you. You wanna know how many valves there is in the engine? Like you can go as a pair. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 2 valves per cylinder, because I have 2 lobes per cylinder. So I will have more than that probably if I had more valves. So here you see, this is what I call the lobes. They are profiled cam, therefore the name camshaft. It is having all that. So we have the journal bearing in here. This is where it's gonna spin around, and these cams here are going to push on stuff. It's oily, it's sticky, let's clean it. So I'm gonna take a paper towel, I'm gonna take some mineral spirit again, and we're gonna go nuts on this, making sure every surface are super clean, and then we're gonna throw that inside the engine. I don't even know which side is the front. There's a guide pin, so I wonder if that's not the front to have a proper timing on it, but yeah, we'll see. We're gonna have to find out. One thing crazy is that I had to look quite a lot on what kind of bearing and everything, because basically, actually no, for the bearing of the cam in the engine, I had to look quite a lot, just because basically the cams themselves fit in every engine, but they had 2 designs for the thickness of the cam bearing. So one design has a smaller, like a thinner bearing, and another design has a thicker bearing, and it's not changing the inner diameter. So these places where it's going to sit on the bearing, it's not changing. So it's really just how the block was casted. All right, so there we go. Let's go nuts with mineral spirit. By the way, mineral spirit is just a product for the painting industry, basically. We're just using painting industry stuff, which is cool. So we're gonna go one lobe at a time, just making sure everything is shiny and clean and out of any bad thing. I'm gonna take a seat because that's gonna take a few minutes, and I'm really low, so might as well. Gonna try to do the in-between on each lobe also, just making sure we're not leaving some dirt in there. As you can see, it's rolling really easily. So we're gonna try to not throw it on the ground, because if we do, that's a chow bag. We need to buy a new one. Since it's a brand new one, the one thing that's super cool is that we don't have to check really for it to being straight or anything. Like, it's all brand new, but if it was an old one, we will need to look if there was any distortion due to the kilometers. So that will be a thing, but for now, we're all good. The fact that sometimes it's just rolling a little bit, I'm like, oh, stay there. At least I will catch it before it went to the ground, but yeah. It's actually quite dirty. So we're gonna really make sure we're not leaving anything in there. We were up to that one. I can't believe someone paid for all those simulator stuff. Who paid for that, Hawk? I guess it's Triaxis, but like at the same time I could see some people, some other one do that. There you go. So this here. Now let's put a bit more on the journal. So as you can see, it's really no big deal to wash. It's just going to take a few minutes to go through all of that, but otherwise it's quite straightforward. Just a lot of roundness on that. Oh, are you still there, huh? Are you planning on playing tonight, maybe? Asking for a friend, you know? I need to keep focusing also. This afternoon I know I'm gonna be playing to try to get those calf kills I'm missing, but after that I wanna focus on something else. Alright, so there's a bit of the towel, I think, moving up on the surface a little bit, so we're gonna have to take care and probably pass the last piece of paper at the end, but for now we're doing pretty good. Cleaning all this oil in there, making sure we are clean. So they say for the pre-assembly we are going to pretty much go ahead and lube all the journal, but we're just going to lube the last the front lobes like a little bit, probably because that's the only one we're gonna use to adjust the timing. Basically most of the timing is happening on the first piston of the firing order, so this is where everything is getting involved, because basically your camshaft won't change its order, so as long as the first piston is aligned with the cam properly, everything's gonna follow after that. So that's where we measure everything as the top dead center and stuff like that. And for those who doesn't know what top dead center is, well, we're gonna find out all together, but that's pretty much where the let's just think of the name, top dead center. Basically this is where the piston number one is at the top of its run, and the proper top dead center is when you calculate the exact middle moment where it's up there, because it's staying up there for like just a few degrees, but there's a proper way to measure what is the actual middle, like perfect middle of that moment. So for as long as it is up there, where is the actual perfect top dead center, we're gonna find that out. I had to buy a degree wheel that is going on front of the engine to measure that, and just the wheel is freaking $100, not $1,000, which is still way too much for a disc of metal with some numbers written on it. Like, I know they are probably quite precise, but still, like, it's probably something that costs them, once it's done first time, it's probably like around $5 or $10 each to produce, and they are selling that $100. But hey, specialized stuff, you don't have the choice. And at this point, I kind of need to make a second LS project at some point. Not like a crazy one with turbo and everything, but I have so many tools that I could buy like $1,000 engine and make a second project out of it just for the sake of using all those tools a second time. And it's at this moment that someone in the chat will say, hey, you know what, you might have to use them a second time if you're blowing that engine up. And I'm like, I don't want to think about it. But that's actually a thing that could happen if I if I'm going and I'm doing something wrong on that one. A second rebuild could be a thing at some point. But we will hope that everything's gonna be great. I'm following a YouTuber that actually has a 6-liter like us, like we're doing, but not even turbo in his drift car. And I think it's the third or fourth time in a few years he's pulling that thing out and blowing it. And like, it's not that he's a bad driver or anything, or a bad, like he doesn't have proper safety equipment in there. It's just that, like, it happens. Of course, like a drift car, you're thrashing that a bit harder than most normal car, but like he has proper cooling system and like a lot of good things. So I don't know. We'll see how these engines last. I mean, people are using them in drift competition and they are not blowing them all the time, but I know some stuff happens sometimes. There's a little dot there. Not sure what that is, just a slight mark. No, I dropped a hair on there. All right, missing the front, then a bit of pressurized air on it. Then we should be good to turn that in. So basically that's what I was talking about at first when I said, oh, the cleaning procedure, we're just gonna do a step by step. Like they were asking in the book to do all that all at once, but I'm like, hey, when I'm gonna get to the cam, I'm gonna do the cam, and when I get somewhere else, I'm gonna do something else. Like I don't see the idea of doing all at once for now. Maybe I'm gonna regret that later on, but yeah, we'll see. There's a little dot, 2 little dots here on the bearing surface. Hopefully it won't be something that gets that puts some damage in there. Probably not. Usually those kind of things will just go away on the first start, and even maybe you're just there putting that in there, we might be good. And yes, I think this is the front, because we have basically the bolts for the gear. So there we go. Just going to do that. Just make sure that we are all cleaned up on top there. No oil stuck in there. There we go. Now clean one. Just going around the main bearings. The journal. And the first few rods. That's a beautiful, beautiful piece. Why did the cam change? Dual side. That's a beautiful piece of metal. And it's not that pricey for what it is, to be fair. Like just the cam itself, it's about $300 only. Like see, I've bought a wheel that will just serve for adjusting the timing for $100 in aluminum, and that big chunk of metal is $300. Like what the fuck? There we go. That looks quite clean in here. To me, we cannot really ask for more. There we go. So from now on, I'm just going to put that here just in case it want to roll out of the table. So it will probably prevent that. Dual front. There we go. Coffee time. So from here, let's read into the book. Install camshaft. So yep, the pin there is the front. I can see it properly here. Lubricate the camshaft bearing journal as well as the first few lobes toward the front of the cam. So here and the first few lobes. We're gonna do all of them in between there. Once the cam is in, check that it spins freely. If it doesn't, but yeah, we will try that. So step 25 of chapter 8. Let's go there. All right. Install camshaft. With the engine right side up. The right side up, or okay, no, like this. Okay. Lubricate all cam bearing in the block that you can reach before continuing. Be sure your hands are very clean, as it will be impossible to avoid contact with the camshaft journal and lobe surface during installation. So we're gonna change our gloves all over again, or just go bare hand because we haven't done a lot of things this morning that involve dirt. Lubricate the two rearmost cam bearing journal and the lobe between them with engine oil. That's we're not doing because we're not going up there. Then insert the cam until it can rest this journal on the front two cam bearing in the block. Please note that there is no need for multi-base cam break-in lube for LS camshaft thanks to their rollerized design. The fact that the Gen 3 fork small blocks use 5 equally spaced, equally sized cam bearing journal allows insertion of the cam segment by segment. This is meaning you can lube the journal and lobes as you go along, making the process a bit cleaner. When well on its way in, and little remains exposed to grab onto. An LS cam's hollow instruction lend itself nicely to the use of one or more. Oh, okay, yeah. 3/8 inches. Okay, perfect. Continue to insert slowly and carefully, lest you mar the lobes and can burn nothing. That more and more upward pressure will be required. And I think that more and more will be required as the cam gets deeper into the block. When it's nearly all the way in, you can even insert a long 3/8 extension in the rear of the cam to help you guide it. Oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool. All right, let's do that. We're ready, guys? We're ready. So we're gonna start just lubing the two bearings at the back. Then we're gonna move towards the front, actually. So we're gonna start inserting that. Our gloves looks pretty clear and clean, so we're gonna just go with them because we had the mineral oil, mineral spirit doing its thing. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go with this dual side. There we go. So time to insert that. So I'm gonna grab that. I'm gonna actually be lubing the two rear journal. So there and there. This is so, all right. Oh, I needed to also, wait. I needed to also do this. if I can reach that one. Yes, I can, but I cannot reach it like that. But I'm just going to drop a bit of oil there, so if we're moving, that's gonna help. There. Can I reach these? I could. In the final assembly process, I could definitely reach that. I think I might have get it. Did I? Oh yeah, I just put a nice little drop of oil there. There you go. Boom. They all have a bit of oil. So let's go. We're gonna start inserting the cam. So there we go. Slowly go like that. And all right, so as you can see, this is how it's gonna be going through. So we're gonna lube that one, then put it to rest like so. So we're just going like this. There we go. Yo, this is getting in way easier. That sounded so bad. This is going in way easier than it got out when I removed the old one. So that's really confirming that the bearing were busted on the old cam. That's why we had difficulties there. All right, let's go. So this is where it gets tricky, because basically now you need to move that and push it up at the back. There, cool. And now, if we have it long enough, it's gonna be almost impossible to grab that there. All right, so from there, I'm losing my pants. Whoa. Now we're gonna do what we said we were going to do. We're gonna lube those lobes, because we're gonna use them to calculate stuff, I think, after that. There we go. So now that everything is lubed up, we're gonna use that. And what they said we could use is an extension like this to allow us, oh, that's how, that's cool. To allow us to have a bit more power on there. So actually I could use both of them. Just go like this. Yo, that was not bad at all. Hell yeah, brother. So the cam is in place now. Yep, everything went through perfectly. Everything is nicely in place and it should move freely. It is. Nice. There we go, boom. And if I was to guess, that will go there and that pin will go at the bottom. I'm not sure, but usually it's a lot like this, like you align two pins and then you're good to throw the cam bearing, but we're gonna keep going. So I'm gonna change my glove all over again. There we go. Hey, camshaft in. Woo! Cool. Perfect. So, it is difficult, impossible to get an accurate reading of the cam straightness anymore than, okay, no, but we are good on that. Install timing set and verify camshaft and play. After installing your crank key into the, all right, wait, what? The crank key into the crank, oh, I don't have that key, I think. and the cam retainer plate over the cam. Install your time. Oh, I need to put the cam retainer plate. Wait, I'm gonna go check in the book. All right, lightly lube lightly lube the built-in gasket at the back of the cam retainer plate. Okay, where's my cam retainer plate? Front cam. Front cam. So basically, now we have put everything in there. We need to put an actual cam retainer plate at the front, which will prevent the cam from being able to get out. The question is, where is that freaking thing? So I have no clue where I did put that. So I have crankshaft, harmonic balancer bolt that we move out of there because we won't be reusing that. We have a bunch of things here that's not LS related. We have the oil gallery blocker there. We have a bunch of things here. This is block sensors, drain plug, starter bolts, headers. If we're not putting brand new stuff on headers, I don't know what we're doing with our life. Cam. Hey, it's here. Easy. Cam plate. Sounds like it. So we're gonna be cleaning that up too, I guess, because this looks like dusty. It's actually not in too bad condition. We're maybe going to order a brand new one though. So here we go, dual side. Dual side. There you go. So this is the plate going on top here, allowing the oil to go through here, but getting basically sealed. So we're just going to use again mineral spirit to just clean that up. There's a bit of dust there. We're gonna clean everything from that assembly, and then we're gonna go and move forward. Let me just throw that on the side. So there's 4 bolts for that. I'm gonna grab brand new gloves. There we go. So straight on the table. Yep, that setup to assemble an engine, I really enjoy it. Like, I have everything with ease of access. I have a lot of space to work on, like 2 tables basically. So a lot of product on one table more for just working around, having the engine easily accessible, all the parts. Honestly, the only thing will be like, if I was in summer, the car will be out of here, but it's not actually a bad thing to have it in here. Like, doesn't matter, in fact. There we go. So just a light scrub on that to make sure we don't have a lot of dirt. So this is why you're going on a verification with cleaning your shit. Because this plate can get a little bit disgusting over time, I guess. So like I said, I think I'm gonna order a brand new one, except if we have specific things we really need to measure from it, but I don't think so. So I think tonight I'm gonna order a new one and just make sure we are starting fresh on that. Because, yep, that's dirty. Even though I don't think it's gonna change a lot of things, to be fair. It's not like the bearing or anything, just that there's a bit of rust at the back here where the cam's gonna be sitting against, so I'm like, ugh. And I'm always afraid that the seal, since it was an old engine, that the seal will just go out soon, like they will just start leaking, so I don't wanna be dealing with that. because that's behind the timing gear. So that means if you have to go there, you have to remove all your timing gear and stuff. So that's all the accessories on the front. So yep, just thinking of it, I'm gonna buy a brand new one. How to find some expense for your build. All right, there we go. So that's clean. Let's just do the bolts quickly. Then we're gonna let it dry just a few seconds. The time we read the instruction for the retainer plate, just to make sure there's no big deal with that. So the bolts were actually pretty dirty. Gonna even redo the first one because I feel like I wasn't expecting it to be that dirty. Good. All right, so from now on, let's read. Likely lube, we won't do that. After whipping the corresponding surface on the front block, lubricate the truss surface of the cam. And set slightly, and set the cam retainer plate. Use care not to accidentally push the cam, or it will slip backward and fall onto its lobe. Install the 4 cam's retainer bolts and torque to 18 feet-pounds. If your cam retainer bolts are Torx head, no, they are not, they are a hex. Perfect, so that means we can just go ahead and set that in there. Boop. So we're going right there. So there you go. They said to lube slightly the surface of the truss. Just going to make sure we are not sitting too far. The truss being the front. So basically, if the cam tries to move, it's gonna go against the plate. That's where there's a bit of rust. So yep, reason to order a brand new one. So let's go, let's just do that. So the truss surface is now lubed. And we can just go ahead and throw that on top. Yep, that's, there you go. So it's always a good idea to go by hand there, because if you have any dirt left in the holes, you want to feel it and not like damage the threads just because you're having a tool in your hand. So that's always a really good idea to go just like that. Set them properly, and then we're gonna torque them. So let me remove my gloves. Oh no, what's the little update? I was trying to tell you something just before, but yeah. American Arcadia, mowing sim 6 to 7, vacuum sim 7 to 8, food, power washing sim, truck sim, farming sim, flying sim, PC building sim, shower with that sim. Shower with that? What the heck? Car mechanic, that's gonna be awesome! Tell him he can come on the stream here if you want to see a car mechanic sim. Oh, Bloodstone, my boy. Proud of him. Proud of him. Can I, the shower one. I thought the mechanic won, but that's Bloodstone. Yeah, that's fair. Oh my god, that's so good. All right, let's grab the 10 mil and we're gonna set that to 210, I think it was. We're gonna take a look because 18 feet pounds, I think was 210 inches. Oh my god. The car mechanic who did that, tell him it's my boy. All right. 18 feet pounds to inch pound. $216. Yeah. All right, Hawk. Tell Triaxious that if he wants to see some real mechanic stuff, he can always come here, you know. I want a sugar daddy too. And like he might see the tier 3 to get your name on the hoist, and $100 to have your name on the car, and you know, anything could happen. 16. There you go. So let's go with that. So they were not talking about a pattern, but basically I'm just going in a cross pattern because it's always a good idea. Again, spreading the load. Holy crap, let's go! For a $30 thing, but let's go! That's perfect, I love it. That's awesome, congrats Hawk. Your things are amazing, that's why. You know how you said, yeah, like you're the friendly person, always cheering everyone and everything? That's where it pays off. Probably the fact that it's also because you did it. So that's probably helping a lot. Yes, it looks so shiny. And now we have a retainer plate and the bolts are looking bad compared to the rest. Dual side. Hey, not maybe, you're spreading the love all over the place, so of course people after that will want to help and everything. So those bolts look scrappy. I hope I will get some new one with a new plate, but basically there you go. So we have the camshaft in place, and now let's see how to install the timing gear. Install the crankshaft key and sprocket. So the key was already in there, so we are okay with that. The sprocket now. So it's gonna be in our timing stuff there. It's so lovely, I love it. All right, sprocket, there you go. So basically, as I said, we have that here on top, a little, they call it, I think, a trail key. In the book, it's just the key, but basically, if you can't see it, it's like that little thingy on top here, that's a guide. And basically what we're gonna do with that is use that to install that thing here that will sit again the engine. So let's go. I'm gonna clean that up quickly just because I see there's maybe a touch of dirt that got there, even though it's brand new. So there shouldn't be anything. But anyway, that's gonna sit in oil, so it's not going to rust or anything. So we're gonna go ahead, just throw that in here, like so. I think I'm gonna need to sit it with a hammer. Yep, we have to, oh, why is there a gear at the back there? I'm missing a gear. Wait a second. So that's not how it's going. Let me check. Since we have a double roller, there you go, there you go. Aha, there's my gear set. Oh, so I can advance or something. in here. So there you go. So I should be able to throw that in here. Why am I not able to go through? Let me check. Aha, there you go. So it's just there. Now that should sit against that, but we're gonna use the other one. We don't want to damage that for sure. So there you go in here, and we're gonna use a hammer and maybe a big socket to just help it sit. I will see if I have a big enough socket for that. Where are my 30 something to 30 something millimeter socket? Right there. Oh, I was almost too short for that. So let's install that. I'm starting to lack a bit of place in here. All right, do we have a big enough socket for that? That one's working. It's a bit dirty, but just going to, there you go. So you see that's fit, but however it's really dirty inside, so I'm gonna try to clean it up first, not throw some dirt in there. So let's go back with gloves, and we're gonna try to just like slowly punch that into its spot. And usually here we will just have one set of teeth, one gear, but for us right now we're doing double roller to spread the stress on the timing setup. So this way we're gonna go and have multiple, well, 2 chain instead of just one, 2 timing chain except instead of just one, which is going to help quite a lot. Well, help securize the assembly there. And I'm not the first to do that. Really not. It's a common thing, so yeah. The worst thing that could happen is that the oil pump I ordered is not the good one, because basically there's one, let's say, that ends up in like 315, the product number ends up in 315, and another one it's 316, and one of them can suit the double roller, the double timing chain straight there, and the other one cannot. So that's the worst thing that could happen, but we'll see that in time. All right, there we go. So now let's set that to its spot. So we're gonna go like this, like so, and just we heard the sound change. So there we go. It's sitting flush at the front, it's sitting to its spot there. So now we have our timing in place. So there we go. Why is my point there? But my 0 is there. Something that we will find later on. All right, so perfect. That some cranks, especially aftermarket one, use a second key located further outward on the snoot, properly indexed. I think we're all good. Timing set, be sure to install the crank sprocket using the correct keyway to determine during pre-assembly. Let's use hard hammer to hit on to install. This can cause severe damage. All good. All right, so let's see here. I just want to see the instruction. Should have read that before installing. 2 oil pump spacer. Oh, that's the oil pump spacer, I guess. Bolts and washer, roller, install the new timing gear. Make sure excessive gasket, okay. That's not really useful. Alright, installation instruction for 9 keyway crank sprocket. Mill gear and select 9 keyway crank sprocket are designed to give the engine builder option to correct and reposition camshaft timing during engine assembly. As a general rule, retarding the cam timing increase high RPM horsepower. So we could be basically changing the timing here, which is pretty cool. Can be advanced by using the 2, 4, 6, or 8 degree advance or retard keyway. The keyway and corresponding timing mark are stamped with a plus or minus symbol. Did we have that? Advance and remove. Perfect. So we are on 0 right now. The camshaft angle is half of the crankshaft angle. The cam will correspondingly advance or retard 1, 2, or 3 or 4 degrees. All right, so we can make -8 here, which result in -4 there. Therefore, probably what it's for the other numbers here. Is it that? Yeah, probably. Do not use the keyway marks to time the engine. Always align the corresponding timing mark on the crank sprocket tooth to cam sprocket timing. Okay, probably that, I guess. For interference between the timing component and cylinder block, remove the timing component and grind area on the cylinder block. So far we are all good, we are all set. So we should be okay, yep, like this. So let's keep that up. Perfect. So far we're doing great, all right. Cool. So let's keep reading. Perfect. So timing chain now. Okay. Turn the crankshaft until the alignment mark on its sprocket is at the 12th position. What is the timing mark? Turn the crank up until the timing mark. I think it's the key, right? Let's make sure there's not a proper picture of that. All right, so the alignment mark on its sprocket, oh yeah, it's the key itself, is at 12th position. I'm gonna just watch in here. Yep, that's what it seems like. Spin the camshaft by hand until the cam locating pin is facing at the right, roughly 3 hours. So that I was wrong in here. We're gonna have to put it roughly to 3 hours like this. The pin placement will help get the cam sprocket locating mark roughly where it needs to be. Lubricate the truss surface on the back of the cam sprocket and soak the timing chain in oil. Once this is done, take your cam sprocket and hang your timing chain on it. Do I need to go that far right now in the pre-assembly process? Let's see. For high performance application, the cam has not yet been degreed. So simply install the sprocket in their standard position, and this time, after doing this, spin the crank over. Okay, wait. Plate engine, perfect. Cam retainer plate over the cam. Install your timing chain and sprocket onto the front of the engine. See chapter. Nothing that if using stock or stock style chain and sprocket. Noting that if using it, you will probably have to press the crank sprocket onto the crank snoot. Fair, I just had to a little bit. If this is done now, you can just leave it until final assembly. Oh, cool. For high performance, okay, we're having a degree that. So doing this, spin the crank over and watch for any physical interference. Okay, let's go. So I guess we're gonna do it. We're just going to add oil to the chain right away so that we don't have to deal with that. Truss surface at the back here. There we go. I don't know if I want to touch the chain right now. I can just go ahead, I feel like, and do this, do that. I need to take care to not push out of bound. There we go. There we go. Boom. It's shiny. We got a timing chain in place. So for the rest, well, let's see with what bolts we need to bolt that. Oh, look up and, oh, she's back. I thought she was going now. Wait for it, I have a lunch. Front cam. We got a lunch. Le copine. Will the girlfriend bring me a bit of a snack? Well, more than a snack, it's actually my lunch. First lunch of the day. Hashed potato. So, now that we're done with that, let's see what kind of bolts do we have in here while I'm eating. That's 4 bolts, so that's for this here. Yep, that's for the spacers. So that means I need to take my older bolts for that. So we're gonna be cleaning those. That's why this thing, the rack with all the blue back in it, the blue container are really worth it. It's been 2 years I disassembled the engine. Everything's identified there, and I'm just going and picking in the right bucket and like, boom, I have my bolts. All right. I kind of want to eat my lunch, but it looks bad a little bit on stream, I guess. I should have think of my time on going online, right? Right. Iced coffee. Let's go ahead and just clean those bolts, throw them in so the gear won't fall. And after that, we're going to eat the little snack, the little lunch. So basically, everything behind there is seeing the oil. So that's a good thing. We're not going to have a rusting problem normally, except if the engine sits in the same place for a super long time, but usually it's all Gucci. One, quite dirty. Dual side. So we have our alignment stuff in place. Well, it's not aligned, but it's getting there. Double roller. We're gonna be lubing also all the chain before rotating it a little bit too much. So we're just going to make sure we're not leaving. That one was already done. Missing that one there. So basically we're gonna be moving on and just setting everything, and I think after that we're gonna get close to setting the timing of the engine, like giving ourselves some marks and everything to make sure everything's lining up perfectly. There we go. I'm having a bit of difficulties on that one, so I'm gonna test another one first. Okay, yeah, it's maybe just a little bit of tension to lining the gear. Yep. Yeah, I'm looking forward on how much gasket maker we're gonna need, because I can see here it's all like a bit damaged by the rust. So we might do just a bit of gasket maker here on the final assembly to make sure we're not having some leaking issue on the cooling system. So we're probably going to torque that. But I wouldn't be surprised that before torquing, they want us to actually spin that to line it up somewhere. So let's see. Once that is done, take your cam sprocket and hang reach behind the engine with one hand and hold the cam from moving backward. Done. Put the cam sprocket in place. We simultaneously wrapping the timing chain around the crank sprocket. Done. You may have to take the cam sprocket and chain on and off of the engine a few times until you get the marks on the cam and the crank sprocket to line up. Did we have a mark there that we needed to line up? Oh, they were talking about that, I guess. Oh, wait, no. Shit. Okay. We did something wrong. All right. It's gonna be lunchtime and then we're gonna fix that. Basically, you can see here, I have a dot at the bottom. That dot on top here needs to line up with that. So it's not the channel there, it's the dot at the back there. So we went through here and at the zero of timing here, but now we need to spin that so that the dot on top line up with that dot there. These are timing marks, so that's why this cap is hiding everything. So we're gonna have to remove everything and just take the pulley out again, then rotate it. Well, no, we're gonna have to rotate the crank until that lines up, and that's the reason for that. You can see there's small numbers like 0, A2, A4. This is for changing a little bit the timing, so making the piston move at a different timing from the crank. So we're gonna set it to 0, but if someone was to say, hey, you can actually like make it a bit stronger on high RPM, like having better, more horsepower at high RPM, you could add a bit of timing to that, and it will work. But that's not something we're looking for now. Time to eat. Oh, oh, oh. Let's go. Sitting right there. Oh, so yeah, so basically here we're getting pretty much in place with all the timing. After that, that's where we're gonna be starting to actually like play around with that. Put the wheel here. We're gonna need to make like a little stand to have a pointer to be facing where we need it to be. And yeah, so what is for lunch, you may ask? I wanted something a bit different today, so I went with a bowl. Wow! So that's my lunch. And I don't want to make the camp full size because I hate having people watching me eat. I'm never eating on stream usually, or almost never. So you're gonna look at the beautiful engine instead. I don't know up to where I want to go today. Let me grab the book and look at it. So after that, we're gonna check the camshaft end play. That could be a good place to stop, maybe. Because after that, yeah, because after that, we're getting into putting the piston in. Oh, I forgot. Oh, that's habanero chicken stuff. Habanero, which is spicy. I forgot about that. I was smashing through it and just had a little spicy vibe in the mouth. So basically after that, we're gonna throw the piston in next week and verify with more plastic gauge that will come this weekend. I think it's supposed to get to arrive. So yeah, we won't be able to go way much further than that today. All right, so we won't have any clearance issue normally for the rotating assembly, because sometimes you have to basically remove some material from the actual block, the cast of the block, when putting aftermarket stuff, but we should be good on that. Right, I'm reading this section right now about the cam degreeing. So what we see in here versus that, this is where we can have a good change. And basically, what it says is, yeah, so the terms are advancing or retarding the cam, therefore the A something under here, A2 or R2. So advancing or retarding the cam. Advancing increase low and mid-range torque at the expense of top-end power, while retarding will have the opposite effect. If I was to say something about that, it will be that on my side, for the car, due to the lightweight of it and the power we want to do, I would have a kind of a tendency to retard the cam so that we have more high RPM horsepower. Reason for that? Grip. If we want some grip at the bottom end, it's easier to keep the car grounded once it's moving than actually ground it when it's like, it's a lot of physics. Anything stationary will try to stay stationary, and basically making something move is gonna require a bigger effort than if it's already moving, right? That said, if we have too much low power, low torque power, the grip on the car might get, when we are almost stationary, might get a little bit too like break. It will break and start spinning, and therefore we will have problem to just have a bit of handling when starting or anything. It will be like crazy violent at the low end, which could sound fun, but not really what we're aiming for. However, if you're already doing 100 kilometers per hour, so 60 miles per hour for my American friend, it will be way harder to make the tire go loose and spins and have like a loss of control once you're moving faster, because it's harder to make it spin, like even if you have quite a lot of power. Therefore, that's why I will have more power on the high end of the engine than on the low end, knowing that those engines are already really good at low end. So V8 tends to have a lot of torque at low end, so I think I could deal with that, but that might be something for later on. Knowing that it's a possibility, after first summer of just trying, we could maybe try to fix that a little bit. Like on this cam, we have 9 different adjustable positions. So we can go a bit crazy. You can see one of these in the latest photo of step 25, yeah, but we are not using that for now. Let's keep going on the reading, because that's a lot of reading there. Okay, you need to go and make sure that your camshaft and everything still matches, because if you're not looking at this, you could end up with some damage on the engine. Okay, what's that? Also, be sure you make any necessary adjustment for digger wheels that are labeled in 90 or 360. Wait, what? Okay, I need to look at my cam for that. I don't think we're gonna have any trouble on that though, but yeah, we need to make sure we are all good. Sorry again, there's not a lot of action now. I'm just eating and reading a freaking book out of geeky stuff. Oh. All right, that was a good thing to read. So basically, we're gonna have to take a look because here, basically, what they are showing us right there is that the mark we have at the bottom here, this is at 6. Like at 6, but sometimes you need to put it at 12. So depending on what you're doing, it might actually change a lot of things. So I'm gonna have to take a look. If I'm going back to the assembling procedure, step 25. Well, 25 was the cam, so after that, oh, the sprocket at 12. So this is wrong right now. I did everything wrong in there. Like, that's no Gucci. Really no Gucci. My cam is not holding anymore. I'm just going to do that. There we go. So basically, what I've done here is wrong. So first of all, this needs to be rotated to the 12, and then this needs to go 12 also. So just to make sure, and I'm not talking about spinning that. My sprocket needs to spin, but the cam needs to stay at 3 hours here, the locating pin. So yeah, I did everything wrong, and that's why you double check everything you're doing, because otherwise you might end up with a disaster. I guess we would have noticed that when they will ask us to make sure the timing mark or stuff like that are okay. But yeah. Because basically if you get that wrong, you're done. Like, the engine will never fire up. I kind of want to start removing it, but there's no point if I'm still eating, right? Because I don't want to put oil or stuff on my hand while I'm eating, because that's a bit disgusting. I have some better manner than that. Now, if I get my camshaft sheet, let me just try to find it because I'm not sure where I threw it. Here it is. So I'm just looking if there's, because they were also talking about 90 degrees, 180 degrees or something. So sometimes you need to spin them, it seems like. So I'm just looking. That's not that. That's not that. I'm gonna read again in the book. You make any necessary adjustment for degree wheels that are labeled in 90 or 360. I'm not sure what that means. R was labeled 180 degree. All right, makes no sense to me. Because I don't see any specification about that, so I'm gonna assume, I guess, it's all like standard stuff. I know the thing's supposed to be plug and play, so. I think I just saw what they mean. It's funny, I gained a viewer while I was eating, so hello you there who loves to watch me eat my lunch. I appreciate you lurking in here. Thank you for being here. We did that. Where's the page I was looking at? Wait, what? Oh, was it in the assembly? No. It's supposed to be there. Wait. Am I going nuts? I can't find back. Oh, I think it's in the assembly process. Wait, no. I don't understand. Where was it? Was it there? No, that's plastic age stuff. Oh, and I just lost a viewer after saying thank you for watching me eat. See, you need to never, oh, it's there, okay. You need to make sure you're never ever thanking your viewers. That's the idea of being a streamer. Oh no, it's not what I thought it was. Okay. Oh well, let's finish eating and then keep going. Honestly, at this point, middle of next week, we're done with the pre-assembling. End of next week, we should be pretty much done with the cleanup. Which means, not next Monday, but the other one, then the following one, we should be up to assembling the engine once and for all. So we're getting there. And for the final assembly, I might go and grab another sort of oil to make sure like I'm using something good, because basically in the book they said that they are not even using a full synthetic oil, classic engine oil. They are going with a really specific one that is a bit thicker, so it stays on the surface for longer. But even there, I might throw some assembly lube on most of the piece, just to make sure that if we fire that thing in just 3 months, we're gonna have still some lube in place. All right, I'm done. Thank you, la copine, pour le bon lunch. Best girlfriend in the world. Let's keep going. So, we're going to disassemble everything we found wrong. That copine. Copine means a girlfriend, basically. New word, unlock. Le flow. I was almost out of happy bean juice, and the girlfriend brings some more happy bean juice. Isn't that perfect? She's the freaking best. Oh yeah, Hawk, you're here. I asked you a question earlier, but you were not listening, and I was sad. Are you playing tonight? That was the only thing I asked. All right, guys, there we go. So we need to remove that. Oh, there we go. Perfect. So now, let's put that to 12 hours. You want the W key? Perfect. Yeah, that was boring last night a little bit at the end, right? I feel that, and I understand that, and I want to. Perfect. Honestly, I kind of propose, I hope Jeff's not here, but if we happen to do something like that, we can just go duo also, or just write it, just shift Wing, like in the channel title, the voice channel title. That will be perfect. So right there, wait, what? I think that's the case they were talking about. I've set that to 3. I've set that to 12, I mean, but here we are 180 degrees off. That here needs to come up like that, lining that up to 12, but now that doesn't work, so I need to look up for that. All right, so what were they saying about that in the book? That's what I did this morning. I shift W and killed 2 chads, so it works. We still need raiders in reserve, so we might just go lose some kids down there. I will be willing to do so. My stash is getting too full of loot from other people anyway, so need to lose some. All right, let's see this, because we are in that exact moment where they were talking about that. All right, so Manufacturer specifications are normally shown in the so-called cam card included with your cam. There it is. This is a cam card. All right, so in addition to listing lift and duration, the crankshaft angular position at which valve events occurred are also given. Okay. If you have a custom application for a specific cam, you may wish to second guess the cam designer's choice and have valve events occur sooner than the recommended crank position listed, or in alternative, delay them, advancing or retarding the cam in this manner characteristic to advancing often refers to the actual alteration of the cam phase. So how to go about the alteration? That's not what I want to know. I was falling asleep. Yikes. Honestly, right after that, when you left, me and Jeff finished that raid, went on a scav reserve. I got killed 5 seconds after spawning, and I went to bed. That's what happened, so I was getting tired too. The cam straight up using the standard position marks on the crank and cam sprockets. Normally, manufacturers design their cams to be installed just this way. And for most applications, it should yield the proper timing of valve opening and closing events with respect to the position of the piston in the cylinders. Even if no such alteration is desired, it is still advisable to double check that the timing of all valve events match up to the spec provided on the cam card. Go through the verification process. This ensures that all parts, but how do I, what is the, okay, I'll try to understand that. For example, while the marks on the cam and crank sprocket may indicate top dead center for cylinder number 1, the trueness of these marks is one thing that will be verified. In addition, the process helps prevent human error in cam installation. We should note that some okay, we should note that, oh, okay, that's what they were doing. Okay, we should note that some where I was. I don't know where I was. This ensure all parts have been manufactured correctly. We should note that some engine, okay, yeah, in cam. We should note that some engine builders, yeah, that we read that earlier. There are a few different methods used to check cam timing, but one of the most foolproof is to simply measure the valve even listed at 0.05 inch lift on the cam card and beyond, making sure they are correct. Calculate the, what is the 0.0, okay, 0.05 there, cam timing. Okay. It's common to verify using intake lobe spec, but you may also use the exhaust lobe. It doesn't make any difference as long as the spec are listed on your card. Also be sure you make any necessary adjustment for degree wheel that are labeled in 90 or 360 degrees. And I don't know what that means there. All right, I think I'm gonna need to know how to read a cam card. Not gonna lie, guys, it's getting out of hand right now. Okay, so basically, from what I understand, front cam. making sure there's no food in my beard. So this is our cam card, right? So this is a lot of numbers and stuff, and ABDC, ATDC, BTDC, stuff like that. So from there we have a bunch of things to look at. What I've read right now, the text I just read was talking about the 0.05 tappet lift, which is basically on the intake and everything. And I see also at the end here +5 advance. So I need to know how to read those, because I feel like they are recommending a +5 degrees advance. So actually, instead of lining up our dots on the timing gear and everything, we should go ahead and put a bit of advance on it. So right now we have either +4 or +5, I think, which mean +4 or +6. So we need to go somewhere around that. So I will say probably +4 just to be safe, because advance was creating more power at the bottom range. So that's probably why. And since that's a turbo camshaft, that will make sense actually to boost earlier. But we need to also look to make sure what is the timing, because right now if I'm lining up at 12 my cam sprocket, that means that I would have my oriented, my located, my lining pin on the other side than what they say it should be. So all lifts are based on zero lash and theoretical rocker arm ratios. Okay, perfect. But yes, so Gen 3 Chevy, that's what we have. Everything's there. So I'm gonna have to read about it. You know what that means? That means right now I'm a bit stuck on that. So after I just finished eating, I was all motivated to like just go and like get that done. But basically, yeah, here's the thing. On normal application, they told us to put that pin on the at 3 hours, which we did, and we should put the lining the timing mark on top at 12. But right now doing that, the lining up, like the pin is lining up at 9 instead. So let me check on the old gear. That's gonna give us a good idea, even though it's like all disgusting. Wait, that one is still the same thing. It's actually the exact same thing here. Oh, my new one has a bearing on the center compared to just a truss surface. That's cool. But yeah, so basically here, I'm gonna have to check, because that one, the pin is also at top and the pin will be at 9. Wait, so I'm doing something wrong, I guess. All right. Because here they say keep the following in mind during cam degreeing and other cam. When both the crank and the cam sprocket marking are in 12-hour position, the photo, this indicates top dead center of cylinder number 1 at the firing position between the compression and power stroke. When crank sprocket marking is at 12 but the cam sprocket marking is at 6, cylinder number 1 is at top dead center between the exhaust and intake stroke. Some timing sets may be different, and if you have any doubt, call the timing set manufacturer or just watch the movement of the cam lobes to verify. Yeah, so I agree with that. We are on the standard, we have the same thing as the OEM thing. Fair. But that does not tell me how I need to install that. Let's go to the assembly part. Look at it all over again. So my cam should be over here. Is it? Maybe not. All right, so here install camshaft with the engine right side up on its stand. Lubricate all the bearing, yeah, so we done that. Retainer plate, we done that. Crankshaft key and sprocket. Install your crank key, smooth key, So install camshaft, sprocket, and timing chain. Turn the crankshaft until the alignment mark on its sprocket is at 12 position. That's what we just did there. Dual side. So here we are at 12. That's the one, the crankshaft sprocket. Spin the camshaft by hand until the cam locating pin is facing to the right, roughly 3, making sure not to push the cam backward. Perfect. The pin placement will help get the cam sprocket locating mark roughly where it needs to be. Lubricate. Oh, ow. They should be at 6 and 12 respectively, so I was not that wrong. Never mind. So it needs to be like that. All right, well, good news, I guess. So this is where it needs to be. There we go, we heard a little click that was super cool, and now this should be moving together. Let's go. So these are lining 6 and 12. All right, never mind. That wasn't that bad. So this is how they are doing it, and we are all good there. However, I want to see, I will just put those in there, and I think I'm gonna stop it there because I have too many questions in my head right now, because I want to know how to read that card properly. Because basically, that being said, maybe I need to change that to a different position so that we have a different timing for that cam to be optimal. And we want to have the best out of what we bought, so that's gonna be the idea. So that was the bonus stream today, guys, on Friday. Wasn't planning on streaming at all at first, but we're 2 hours 21 minutes in it, so that's already a bit more stuff done. We completed the crankshaft, which was the main thing that we had to stop on yesterday. Now we have another little thing that stopped us, which is not big deal. Like basically right there, the only thing stopping us is the fact that I want to know a little bit more on the timing and the cam card. So we're gonna take a look at this over the weekend. Next Monday, I'll be back on that. We're gonna complete the timing and everything. Then we're gonna go on to the piston adjustment, and everything is going to be done there. Then there's gonna be piston ring to do. That's gonna take forever. I'm telling you already, there's gonna be 2 or 3 streams, I think, just grinding some piston ring, because basically there's 8 piston, 3 ring per piston. So it's 3 times 8, which is 24 ring to adjust. Oh, I don't want to think about it, and we don't have the right to screw ups because we need to make sure that everything is perfectly suitable for turbo. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. So I think that's gonna be boring, to be fair, but hey, we have to do it. And after that, we're gonna complete the assembly and go ahead, disassemble everything, clean everything up. So yeah, pretty sure pre-assembly and final cleanup's gonna be done next week. So can't wait to do that. So have a good weekend, guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next Monday. Bye bye.